ukinicheki hivi nina shida kama so. Kwa flow huwezi banjo juu vile kumechrome. After kulegalize nasafisha na cologne. Nilipoteza key so siwezi rudi home. Siwezi rudi home. Siwezi rudi home. Nilipoteza key so siwezi rudi home. Siwezi rudi home. Siwezi rudi home. After kulegalize nasafisha na cologne.
Yes. That was one performance, energy, vibes. I think everything that you need on a Friday night.
Everything.
Hivi na hivo.
Hivi na hivo.
Absolutely. So before, you know, we get candid, let's just sit down so that we can start getting into, yes, take a breather, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then we get into it, right? The hot questions are coming soon. The ones that you don't want.
I hope they're not too hot.
They're not too hot. Don't worry.
Not too much.
I'll be easy on you. It's easy Friday.
Easy Friday.
Absolutely. Right. So, you know, Maandy, the one thing that I really liked about your music videos and, of course, this personality that you have, you're very bold, you're very out there. And I feel not many artists in Kenya have that courage to be extremely bold and extremely honest with who they are as a character, as a personality, and of course as an artist. So was this always your intention, that hit them with fire?
I think it wasn't always my intention, but I think it just comes naturally.
Okay.
Because that's literally my personality.
That's who you are.
That's who I am. And I feel like maybe people receive it in that way because it's not something I used to.
Yes.
So for them it feels very new, very fresh, and I think it's an advantage to me because it's like a selling point. So.
Absolutely. It's something that you can just be like, you know, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. This is me.
It's entirely up to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take it how you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, I like the fact that you became this household name during the pandemic. That's where, you know, you saw your career just take off. Were you expecting that to happen, especially because when we were in the middle of a very scary pandemic?
Very scary. I think from the song that hit off was like at the peak of the pandemic. And I was a bit skeptical, but then I think it worked in my favor because most people were at home. They were able to absorb
and enjoy the music.
Enjoy the music. Like, just look for things that will distract them more or less. So I think it worked in my favor, and I love the fact that people love my music because now they're able to sit down and absorb who I am mentally as an artist, as a creative, and yeah, I like it. I like that I peaked at the height of the pandemic.
Absolutely. And you know, you are unapologetically yourself. Were you always the kid back in high school or even in primary who was dropping those bars and, you know, you'd have a crowd around you, everyone's like, hey, cheering you up? Was that you?
No, I'm very, very shy.
Really?
I am. Like, in real life, I'm very shy. I'm one of those people you would pass and you wouldn't notice. But in high school, I was I was in charge of the entertainment, like what would play, what music would play. Like, I've always had a passion for making people happy, especially if it was inclined with music and just anything that's entertaining. You know, so I felt like this was a calling for me, more or less. But in real life, I'm very quiet.
So you're an introvert?
Somehow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really, really shy. I'm not extremely shy, but I'm really shy.
That's something that I'm sure people did not know. So if you're a Maandy fan, now you do.
Now you know.
Girls not as fiery as we think. But I think that's one thing that, you know, it's good because you have two personalities and you know how to strike the balance between the two. You know, when you're performing, you're this bold persona.
It's like a persona.
Yes, you're fireball.
That's the kabaya persona.
Absolutely.
That's why I had to introduce the kabaya element into my artistry.
And then when you're at home or with your family, you know, you're this girl next door.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting right now, which is great.
Yeah, I guess so.
So which Maandy does your family get? Girl next door?
Yeah.
All the time?
That's the one they get. I feel like they get very surprised when they see like this other persona. They're like, who's this? But I try as much as I can because I feel like the balance also gives me a sense of sanity. Which is very important.
It is to keep you going and of course to keep you focused on what's important and what's not important. You know, you need that. You need to strike that balance. Now let's talk about your family. Let's talk about how you broke it to them that I want to be a rapper. You know, there's one thing to be a singer, and then breaking it to your parents as if it's not hard enough, and then telling your parents that mom, dad, family, I want to be a rapper. How did they take that news?
I think for me, my most important person to tell was my mom, because my mom's a single parent. So I was a bit skeptical about how she will take the information, because initially I started out as a DJ immediately after high school.
No ways.
Yeah, she facilitated the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Paid for my academy, supported me through all the shows. So when I went to her and told her, you know, I want to venture into this other thing that is being a musician, being a creative, and she was very supportive from day one. She has been my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, which is insane considering the things I say, the things I do, the videos I do. But I didn't expect it to be that way. However, I feel like this far I have come, it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have like the full support of my family.
That's amazing.
And of course, if your mom is okay with it, the rest of the extended family, they'll just have to go with what she goes with. So I think I'm really blessed by that fact.
Lovely, lovely. And let's talk about being, you know, a gengetone rapper, just a rapper per se.
Yeah.
How hard was it to stay relevant and of course to break through? Because I know once you become this household name, I think it's easy going from there. It's smooth and it flows. But just to be able to get that one, you know, viral music video or a song that everyone's singing to, how did that happen for you?
I think for a while, because I think since 2016 I had been doing like this hardcore rap and boom bap and just trying to prove a point. And around beginning of 2020, when gengetone had now started catching the wave, I was still doing the rap thing, but at that time, it was the men who were expressing themselves through gengetone. So for me, it was like, as a female artist, how do I now incorporate that artistry that is gengetone? And the trend. And so it took me some time, but eventually when I caught it, I did Pon It, which was a feature with X-Ray, BDLW, and Diana Chords. And for me, I would say it was like a breakthrough. Yeah. And it was like at the height of the pandemic, because I remember shooting the video during the 7 p.m. curfew.
Oh dear.
And it was just hectic. It was a whole headache. But the reception I got off of it was that that's something maybe people want to see from me, see more of, hear more of. And it was a bit difficult because we all know the topics gengetone speaks of, and having to incorporate that as a female artist was a bit hard for me. But
it was a challenge.
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge. But once I got it, and just like literally owning who I am as a person, as a woman, as a young female in maneuvering through Nairobi.
The streets of Nairobi.
The streets of Nairobi, it became a bit easier for me.
Okay.
So I feel like if I hadn't like outgrown the rap element of me, like as an artist, like as a rapper, if I hadn't outgrown that into now a gengetone artist, I don't think I would be sitting here right now.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that you were able to transition into, you know, this gengetone artist, but still really make sure that you're keeping your roots intact, which is rap. And will we see you evolve into something else, and of course, you know, venture into another genre of music?
Of course,
in the future.
I am like, for example, my album. I released my album in November, and the album is of course the popular music that the Kenyans listen to, but there's elements of R&B. Like there's a song called Magizani. I've sampled an old R&B track.
Nice.
There's different genres. There's a boom bap rap, there's the dance hall. There's so many elements of it. So it's not like I'm just this generic artist. There's so much more you can get off of me, and it's not just rap. There's also a lot of singing on the album. So and
you know, when I did my research, most of the blogs say that you are a very versatile artist. So I think that's something that, you know, you've kept hold of, and it's nice to know that you're trying to like do a little bit of everything. But at the same time, you know what's going to work for you, which is amazing because you figured it out so early. And I guess you need to give people tips on how to figure out what they want to do.
I mean,
as a young female creative who's just, as you said, maneuvering her way through the streets of Nairobi. How exactly did you know that this is what I want to do?
It took some time, because for most people, they think that I started doing music last year, 2021, 2020. But in hindsight, I've been doing this since 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it takes time. And as an artist, it takes time to find your sound, find your style, which is something very rare. But I'm glad that I had like that 4-year window where it was just me figuring myself out. Experimenting. Today I do reggae, tomorrow I do R&B, the other day I'm an alt artist. So I'm glad that I had that chance.
Amazing.
To experience all these different versions of myself and finally arrive at, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. So for me, I think I will just tell the any creative that's out there, just give yourself time. The person you are yesterday isn't the person you're going to be tomorrow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sound advice.
Yeah.
That's what you call kabaya advice.
Kabaya advice. Watermark that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Maandy, you know, you really, I think, collaborated with some of the heavyweights in the industry, the likes of Fena, you know, Brida LW. Like, these are people that we have grown up listening to. And of course, I really feel that you got a chance, an opportunity to do so very early on in your career. And what have you learned from someone like Fena, who's like, you can say, the OG female rapper of Kenya?
I think the first session I had with Fena felt like, you know, when you feel like you literally know nothing, and then there's this person who
go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
you're like, okay.
Like, I remember after that session, I went back home. I was like, what? What am I doing?
Who am I? Where am I?
What, literally, do I know anything? But the one thing I learned is just be comfortable with what you're doing. Don't try and force the vibe.
Yes.
Just go where it takes you. Because I remember even the session with Fena was literally the most wholesome session I've had.
Fulfilling.
She's just a force to reckon with, and I learned so much from her. Even as I was recording like the rest of my album, there's elements of what I learned through that session that I borrowed for my other songs. And I just love the fact that for every artist I've worked with, they're very comfortable with who they are. They don't force, they don't copy, they don't, wherever it takes them, that's where they go. And I feel like for very many young artists, they try to emulate what they see or what this other person is doing. But for me, what I learned was just go where the vibe takes you. That's the biggest lesson I've learned.
You know, sitting here with you, I feel like you have just broken a stereotype, because there's a misconception that rappers are supposed to behave and talk a certain way, you know, have that swag and, you know, movement with your hands and like literally, but you're so well spoken, you're so ladylike, you're so graceful, elegant. I'm just like, wow, is she really a rapper, or is it all a facade?
Oh my God.
She is, yeah?
I am.
Okay.
This is literally, what do they call it? Decorum. This is me. I obviously
so well put together.
I can't come on here and like, yo, what's good? What's happening?
That's what I'm saying. That's a stereotype.
No.
People have that perception of what rappers are in terms of what they look like, in terms of how they talk, in terms of how they carry themselves. And I feel like you're the complete opposite. It's amazing.
It's different. I feel like people also need to hear you speak and understand you like outside the music. They need to understand how you think, how you move, how you feel. And I can't do that, like throwing hands
all the time.
Like, it's so awkward.
Of course.
But I mean, okay.
Love it. Okay, let's talk about, you know, the future for you. We already know that you've come up with a brand new single that was released a few days ago, Forbidden Truth. How has it been received? What have people said? What are some of the feedback you've got about this track? I know you did something new with it.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that later.
Oh my God, I feel like I already know.
You already know what's going to come, right? You know the next question. But yes, before we get to that,
I know, but
let's talk about how people have received the song, and you know, what is the feedback so far? Do people like it?
Of course they do. I feel like most people knew me off of the songs I make about quote-unquote sherehe.
Yes.
But this was more or less a different vibe,
it was deeper.
It was deeper. Because I think most people don't understand the fact that as I was beginning my career, I was a rapper.
Okay.
And rap has so many elements to it. There's the skill, there's the storytelling, which is this song. And when I was doing this particular song, I wasn't in the mood of writing a sherehe song. I just wanted to connect, because I feel as an artist, there's so many things in life you can speak on.
Relationships, for instance.
Exactly. Nairobi. Dating in Nairobi. But I wanted to break away from the generic, let's go out, let's drink, let's enjoy life.
Let's enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, because I feel like life is not just about...
all about enjoyment.
Enjoyment. There's actual things that happen out here that most people can relate to. And that's one of the things I want to do. I just want to connect with my audience, and it doesn't have to always be about this one particular topic. It can be about very many various aspects of it. So yeah, that's how I did Forbidden Fruit.
Do you know, in the West, like for instance, Taylor Swift, whenever she has a breakup, she writes about it. And then she makes sure that she really talks about her ex. And she describes the ex, right? A to Z. Have you ever done that? It's okay. If you have, it's fine. You can tell us.
Oh my God, I haven't.
Okay.
Because I don't think I've been in a relationship where I can like write about. I don't think I'm very much invested in such relationships right now. Maybe later, but not now.
Are you dating Nick Ndeda?
Wow, just right on. No loop or anything.
I had to. There was news that you are, but we don't know. Maybe if you confirm it, we'll know.
I can't
confirm or deny.
Confirm, no deny.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Moving on.
I'll give a very political answer. We're both creatives. We're friends. We love almost everything, almost the same things.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. Just friends.
Situation.
That's the situation. That's fine. Taken. That's okay. Let's move on.
Moving on swiftly.
Moving on swiftly. You know, Maandy, I feel like the one thing that every artist in Kenya is always complaining about is the fact that putting together a budget, you know, coming up with financing for your music videos, for instance, for promotion, for marketing, for rebranding sometimes, and you're just putting yourself out there in public eye. It is very, very taxing. And of course, just making sure and ensuring that you are able to continue doing what you love doing, which is, of course, rapping, it's difficult. And there's always roadblocks along the way. What are some of the roadblocks that you've had to encounter, and how have you overcome them?
I think, as you said, financing most of your projects is usually very tasking. But for me, I've always been a very resourceful person.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because I had to learn to do it from a very young age when you didn't have much to work with, and you had to
make do with what you have.
Yes, exactly. So for me, even I think two years ago, before now I got my management, I had to do most of the things on my own.
Wow.
I had to figure out how to record, how to do the video, how to have like extras, how's everyone getting there. And I was in uni, and you know how when you're in uni, for some reason you're just broke.
You're a hustler.
You're a hustler. You're just surviving. But I think for a creative, if you're starting and you don't have very many options, especially if it's financially, you just have to work with what you have, and you have to like invest in relationships, because
networking.
Just network, because the videographer I use right now is very talented, cue visuals, but he's been with me when I literally had only 5K to give him.
No way, it's the same guy. So you've grown together.
Same guy. So you have to learn to invest in relationships as much as you can. Because in this world, you can't just have like 100K dropping on your lap.
Of course not.
And you have a video, you have an audio, you have promo. It's a lot that goes into it. So you have to be as resourceful as you can in the beginning stages of it before you can make money to reinvest in your craft. So
who are some of your inspirations from the West, you know, in Kenya as well? Some people that you'd love to collaborate with, some artists. Maybe you can drop a few names.
I think one of my biggest inspirations, and as cliche as this is going to sound, is Spice.
Okay.
She's a Jamaican rapper, singer, songwriter, performing artist. She's just a fireball, you know. So she's one of my biggest inspirations. Because even looking back at her videos starting up, she was very musty and crusty and everything that I thought I was like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So she's my biggest inspiration.
Okay.
I think locally I'd say Calligraph.
Oh yes, the
I'd
OG.
say Otile Brown.
Yeah.
These are people who have stuck to the grind
Yes.
till now, and I would love to also grow as an artist
Yeah.
as much as they have. So yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned Calligraph because, like, let's be honest, without Calligraph, there's no rap in Kenya.
There's none.
There's none. Zero.
None. None.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. Maandy, I really wanted to ask you this question. You know, you have said that you've had a very interesting career. You've had a very interesting journey. Started off as a DJ, and then, of
Yeah.
course, went into rap, and then now, you know, you're just getting into like this scene where you figured yourself out, and you still think that there's a lot of things you still want to try out. Any regrets along the way in your journey?
Of course, of course. I regret second guessing myself.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere someone was talking about an imposter syndrome or
Okay.
something like that, and just doubting myself and my craft and the possibility of just being as big as I am right now.
Yes.
It might not be much to other people, but to me, if you walked up to me 5 years ago and you told me you're going to have like 50,000 subscribers,
Yeah.
I'll be like, no, you're lying.
You're lying. How?
Where? Who are these
Yeah.
people? So I wouldn't doubt myself as much as
Amazing.
I did.
That's very solid advice.
Yeah.
I feel like imposter syndrome is something that a lot of young people deal with today.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's the worst because you sit down and you see someone else doing something.
You just
and
compare
maybe-
yourself to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and you don't realize how good you are.
Yeah.
Because you're always thinking, maybe
I could
I'm
do
too loud,
better.
maybe I could do better, maybe my hair doesn't look as good as this other person, or my makeup, or how I perform isn't as good as this person. But in actual sense, people love you because you're you.
Ugh.
And you don't see it.
Kabaya advice.
We need to make it a hashtag.
Trademark. Done. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's
Thank you
do
so much, Maandy. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and I mean, I cannot let you go without, you know, you performing your latest single, of course, The Forbidden Truth.
Yeah.
We need you to just go do your thing and like just show everyone what you're made of, right?
Exactly.
The Kabaya Maandy that we're used to seeing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Any last words for your fans?
I would just like to say that you should just keep on supporting me. This year is going to be amazing. Follow me on all my social media platforms. On Instagram, it's Maandygram, that's Maandy. YouTube, Maandy, that's Maandy. I've just released a new video, so make sure you get on there, support your girl, show me some love, and yeah, let's get interactive.
Let's get interactive. And thank you so much for, you know, keeping us company right here on #Easy Friday. We'll do this again next week. Same time, same place, only on KBC Channel 1. My name is Shiksha Arora. For now, it's time to make way for Maandy. Koljax, you ready? Let's go.
I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi. Situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini, unge dunini. I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi. Situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini, unge dunini. Wahenga walidai forbidden fruit ndio the sweetest. Mimi nimepata weakness, ukweli niko na secret. Before uni judge, wesikia hii story. Mimi nina confess, no jweriba ni ngori. Niko na boy yani mflyer, kona ganji na walai. Best pipe no lie, jaman baridi ndio ndae. Mali anakagua ka ukwaju kwa karai. Shida ni moja na ndio kubwa my guy. Ni chalia besti wangu shiko. Tumejua na since campo, natoka then tumegrow. Raw safi nikilemewa, I know where to go. Kukesha usiku tukisomea teo. Na siezelewa vile ilianza. Siezi explain situation ilijiingiza. Siezi kuambia ni wapi niliteleza. Feel so good when we're together, si unaelewa. I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi. Situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini, unge dunini. I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi. Situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini, unge dunini. Huyu boy vile yeah, we handle. Hit the right spot, you know that, got an angle. Na my Friday ndio si you get time ample. Aki pull up, tunatulistu kwa castle. Then I get a call from my girl, nikashikwa tuna stress. Si bonga on a daily, so I guess anani hola too. Take it, minka accept. Okay, kwanza nili take a very deep breath. Niaje baby girl, sema babe, akimenyamaza. Hapana, kuna job imenikaza, niambie. Mimi niko na stress. Gani tena? Sini deno, naona ana cheat. Sina ma receipt, lakini weekend yako off. Kwanza Friday ana lost, alafu sitampata mpaka sato. Maybe anataka tu space, usi overthink, you have a good thing. Sawa basi, hata niko area yako, I'm coming over. Sitanya wanna be alone, let alone sober. Ati, unakam? Yup, coming up the stairs, nataka tu kurant, can't take it any longer. I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi, situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini, unge dunini. I swear sikupanga ikuwe hivi, situation got too sticky, lakini ni dunini.